Hello, Umut here. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to work on my napkin journal and I have my coffee here. This is my napkin journal. I created myself with mixed media paper. There is a video on all my napkin journals to show you how I created it. I simply created from a mixed media paper, cutting it same size. Bring it together, and I have this traveler's journal cover to keep them together. So I'm going to open a blank page and start working on it. I have this napkin, a beautiful one, which has these watercolory flowers. So I'm going to remove the backing and place the napkin on my pages to see what I'm going to do with it. I think I'm going to have them hanging from the air, which is a nice one, and I'm going to cut a part of it and save the rest of it maybe for another page. I get a lot of questions about where I get my napkins. I buy them from napkin shop, so I'm going to put the link down below together with a discount code you can use to shop from there. They have a super large selection. You don't need to buy a pack of them. They sell it one by one, very cheap, and also they have loads of rice papers you might like as well if you like decoupage like this. Of course, a lot of you send me napkins too, very generous of you, and thanks to all of you who send me stuff including napkins, and I have a stash enough for a year, I think. So I'm gluing down my napkin with matte medium and starting the design. I have these splash stamps because the napkin has a little bit watercolory background, and also you see these dripping splashes thrown here and there at the back. So I'm going to do the same, use my black archival ink and stamp these splashes here and there. If you don't have this, don't worry, I would just go and splash some watercolor or something, or do some dripping. You can easily do it with your hand. You don't have to have the stamps. This was a little bit of a black blob, so I'm going to cover it with my white gesso, so it's not a lot. I'm going to use my Distress Oxide inks, a few colors, and you will find the colors that I used at the end of the video with a photo around the page, so you can easily see what I used. Because it has a watercolory look at the back on the napkin, I decided to use inks with the famous swoosh technique. I have my acetate here, maybe you don't see, it's transparent. You can use your stamp packaging, recycling it for this purpose. And I just swoosh the inks, spray some water, and then press it on my page. This way it looks like the napkin. When I'm designing my napkin pages, I always look at the napkin and get inspiration from there. That's why it's so quick and easy. It's just you don't need to create something from scratch. You just continue something that was done before. And I'm using different colors here with my acetate here and there, and in the middle I'm sometimes drying it so that I can layer them on top of each other. If you don't dry, they will all mix and blend together and you won't have the same effect. I'll continue with darker tones. So now I'm playing with a little bit orange, and further I'm going to do some greens, some browns. I'm going to just use it on the napkin too, so that everything looks cohesive. It doesn't look separate, two pieces of things. Again, sometimes you need to dry in between the colors so that they don't mix all together to blend. When you want them to blend, just keep going. If you want layering so that all colors are on top of each other without blending and changing color, then you need to dry in between. I do both here, so sometimes I dry, sometimes I don't. I switched to vintage photo here to get a little bit dark and even darker now. I do the same thing again and again in the places that I want to have these colors. If you see now, they all look all similar and part of one thing rather than separate. And lastly, I'm using some black to have again these splashes. And I'm going to do some dripping from top to bottom too, because again I'm trying to replicate the same style of the napkin. I'm using some greens, some black, sometimes mixing them together. You can treat your distress oxides or distress inks as watercolor, spraying some water on them so they have multiple usage and ways of using them. Again, as you see, it becomes more and more one thing, and my design at the rest of it is very similar to the napkin style. I keep saying it, if you're a beginner or if you don't have much time, I think napkin journaling is a great way. You don't need to, use a lot of tools or create something from scratch completely with a blank page. You don't need to think of colors, what matches and what to use. I just went around the edges with a little bit black to give a little frame. And now it's time for the sentiment, and I selected one from my sticker set from 7 Dot Studio. It says you must tell stories, and I have another one that will say in different words. And I absolutely love it. As you see, I only used some colors, paint, inks, napkin, and one little sticker as a sentiment. Not many supplies at all, and I am using my black pen to go around this sentiment, and I am done for the day. I hope you enjoyed this video and got inspired. If you like my videos, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, or leave me a comment. I wish you all a great day and see you next time.